Ethan steps forward, the weight of the challenge pressing on him. His hands are slightly trembling, heart pounding as the clock ticks down. His mind races with self-doubt. Can I really do this? What if I fail? But he shakes it off, one step at a time. He glances at the crowd, their faces a blur of anticipation. The pressure feels overwhelming, but he knows he has no choice but to push forward. The challenge ahead seems enormous, like a mountain he has to climb in mere minutes. But it's too late to turn back now. There's no option but to try. Focus. Just breathe. You've trained for this. He takes a deep breath, squaring his shoulders. The first few steps feel heavy, like moving through mud, but he doesn't stop. Each step is a reminder that he's here for a reason, that he has earned this moment. He's made it this far, despite the odds, despite the setbacks. He can't let fear win now. His feet move faster, his rhythm slowly coming together. There's still so much to do, but each movement, no matter how small, is progress. The crowd is quiet now, watching intently as he struggles to find his pace. It feels like time is against him. But in that moment, something clicks. He finds his flow. He can do this. This is just the beginning. The clock continues ticking, but Ethan is no longer afraid. He's here to prove something. Not just to the crowd, not just to his coach, but to himself. The doubt lingers, but it's no longer in control. Each second counts. Ethan's movements become more controlled, his pace steadier, as the tension in his body begins to ease. The first few minutes were a struggle, but now he's starting to find his rhythm. The fear that once gripped him loosens just a little. Every step feels a little more natural, each movement more confident than the last. The pressure is still there, but it's no longer suffocating. The crowd is silent, the anticipation hanging in the air. Ethan can feel their eyes on him, but he doesn't let it throw him off. He focuses on the task in front of him, the next step, the next decision. He's not thinking about the end yet. He's not thinking about the time on the clock. He's only thinking about this moment. He lets out a breath, steadying himself. His hands, once shaky, now feel firm on the task. His body moves with purpose, fluid but controlled. He knows he has a long way to go, but the path ahead feels a little less daunting now. The initial panic has faded, replaced by a quiet, growing sense of determination. The clock ticks in the background, but Ethan doesn't allow it to rush him, one step at a time. He remembers his coach's words from earlier. You've got this. Keep going. It's a small thing, a simple phrase, but it anchors him. He's not doing this alone. The crowd's energy starts to shift. They've been waiting for him to make his move, and now they're seeing it. The murmurs are softer now, more like encouragement than judgment. Ethan feels their presence, but it's not about them anymore. It's about him, his journey, his growth. He picks up his pace slightly, the hesitation that slowed him earlier now a distant memory. Each movement feels smoother, more instinctive. He's not rushing, but he's gaining ground. Focus. Just keep moving. The finish line may still feel far away, but Ethan knows that with every step, he's getting closer. Ethan's focus sharpens as he approaches the most critical part of the challenge. The finish line is still far off, but he can see it now, clearly, just ahead. His movements are precise now, fluid, no longer stiff with uncertainty. The previous mistakes don't weigh him down anymore. They're just small lessons he's learned along the way. His breath is steady and his steps are calculated. Every action is purposeful. The crowd's murmurs fade into the background as his focus narrows. He's not worried about what anyone thinks. All that matters is the task in front of him. His confidence has steadily grown, and now he feels like he's in control. This isn't about being perfect anymore. It's about showing up, about doing his best and pushing through. A small stumble breaks his stride for a moment, but it's nothing like before. The panic, the rush to fix things instantly, those old feelings don't return. Instead, he pauses, takes a breath, and continues moving forward. He's learned to adjust, to adapt. That's what this challenge is teaching him. Ethan's body aches, the strain starting to show. His muscles are burning, but he pushes through it. His coach's voice echoes in his mind, "You've got this." And for the first time, he believes it. He trusts himself. There's no more doubt, no more fear. Just this moment. The clock continues ticking, but Ethan has stopped worrying about the time. He's in the flow now. He's no longer focused on the mistakes or the things that could go wrong. He's focused on the next move, the next step. It's a feeling of pure determination, a commitment to the journey rather than the destination. As the seconds tick down, his movements grow faster, more certain. Ethan's confidence is undeniable now. He's not just fighting for victory, he's fighting for himself. The finish line is closer than ever, and he can almost taste the success that's waiting for him. Ethan's momentum builds as he moves with a new energy. His body feels tired, but his mind is sharp, clear. The noise of the crowd, once a distant hum, now pulses through him, fueling his determination. The clock continues to tick, but the pressure no longer feels suffocating. It feels like a rhythm, something he can control, not something that controls him. He's closer now, almost within reach of the finish. His hands move with precision, his steps sure and confident. Each moment feels like it's falling into place. No hesitation, no doubt, just action. The mistakes from earlier seem like distant memories. They don't matter now. What matters is the here and now. Every breath, every step, every movement forward is a victory in itself. His coach's words come back to him, loud and clear. Keep going, you've got this. They echo in his mind, pushing him further. Ethan is no longer just trying to make it through the challenge. He's owning it. This is his moment, and he's going to finish strong. The finish line is so close now, the goal within reach. But the closer he gets, the more he realizes something. This isn't just about winning anymore. It's about everything he's overcome. The setbacks, the doubts, the stumbles. It's all led to this point. This moment of clarity. The crowd's energy surges as they see him closing in. They know what's coming. Ethan feels their excitement, but it doesn't make him anxious. It only adds fuel to his fire. With each passing second, the finish line grows nearer. But the true victory lies in what he's already accomplished. He's already won in his own eyes. Now it's just about crossing the finish line. He pushes forward, his final steps stronger than ever. He's not looking back anymore. All that matters is what's ahead. Ethan can feel the crowd's energy shift as he nears the final stretch. His legs are heavy, but every step feels like a step closer to something monumental. The finish line is within reach, but the exhaustion is starting to hit him hard. His muscles ache, his breath is shallow, but he doesn't falter. The countdown on the clock seems louder now, but it doesn't rush him. This is his moment to take control, to finish what he started. The doubt that once clouded his mind has disappeared completely. The earlier mistakes, the hesitation, the fear, it's all been left behind. He's learned that setbacks are just part of the journey. The most important thing is to keep moving no matter what. Ethan doesn't need perfection. He needs persistence. That's the lesson he's taken from every misstep, every stumble. With a final surge of energy, he pushes himself forward. His focus sharpens, every muscle in his body working in unison. The crowd is on their feet now, sensing the end is near. Ethan doesn't notice their cheers. He's in the zone, every action automatic, every decision second nature. This is what he's trained for. This is the moment that will define him, not just as a competitor, but as a person. He's almost there. The finish line is just steps away, and with every move, it comes closer. His heart pounds in his chest, his breath coming in quick, shallow bursts, but he holds steady. He's not worried about time anymore. He's not worried about what's behind him. All that matters is this final push. As he nears the finish, something shifts in Ethan. The tension that's held him tight throughout this challenge slowly releases. He smiles, a small but powerful gesture. This moment is his. The finish line is just a few more strides away, and he knows, without a doubt, that he's going to cross it, victorious. With one final push, Ethan crosses the finish line. His heart is pounding in his chest, his body exhausted, but his mind is clear. The noise from the crowd erupts all around him, but it feels like it's in the distance, like he's floating above it all. The moment is surreal. The victory, both external and internal, feels overwhelming. He's done it. He's not just finished the challenge, he's conquered it. As he slows to a stop, he takes a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment sink in. The pain in his body is sharp, but it's nothing compared to the satisfaction of knowing he gave everything he had. Every ounce of effort, every step forward, it's all led to this. Ethan looks up, and for the first time, he allows himself to take in the significance of what he's just accomplished. The crowd's cheers grow louder, but Ethan isn't thinking about the applause. He's thinking about everything that led him here. the doubts, the failures, the setbacks, and how they all helped shape this moment. He hasn't just won a competition, he's won against his own fears, his own insecurities. He takes a step forward, his body still shaking from the effort, but with a newfound sense of pride. The victory isn't about the trophy, the title, or the recognition. It's about the journey, the growth, and the belief in himself that he's gained along the way. Ethan looks around, scanning the crowd, and his eyes meet his coach's. The smile on his coach's face says it all. You did it. That's all Ethan needs to hear. The approval of the person who believed in him when he couldn't believe in himself. He exhales, a sense of calm settling over him. The challenge is over, but the lesson he's learned will stay with him forever. It's not about being perfect. It's about pushing forward, even when it seems impossible. It's about showing up for yourself, no matter how many times you fall. Ethan raises his hand in acknowledgement of the crowd's cheers, but inside, he knows the true victory lies in the quiet strength he's discovered in himself. As the applause continues to ring in his ears, Ethan stands still for a moment, taking it all in. He's won the competition, but something deeper has shifted within him. The rush of victory isn't what he expected. It's not about the recognition, the cheers, or the trophy that's placed in his hands. It's about the realization that he's capable of far more than he ever believed. He looks at the trophy, its shiny surface reflecting the lights around him. But it feels almost secondary. What matters most isn't the prize, it's the growth, the lessons learned, and the journey he's been on to get here. The process has transformed him, reshaped him into someone who can face challenges head-on, not because he's perfect, but because he's persistent. Ethan's thoughts drift back to the moments of doubt, to when he almost gave up. Those first few minutes of the competition seemed like an eternity of mistakes and setbacks. Yet, here he is, standing tall, not just as a winner, but as someone who's overcome more than just an external challenge. He's defeated the fears, the anxieties, and the inner voices telling him he wasn't good enough. He's learned to embrace imperfection, to see failure as a stepping stone rather than a setback. The pressure to be perfect, to have everything figured out, has been lifted. Now it's about progress, not perfection. As he walks towards the sidelines, the coach's voice reaches him again, this time softer, filled with pride. You've come a long way, Ethan. You should be proud. Ethan nods, a smile tugging at his lips. He's proud, but it's not because of the trophy or the victory lap. It's because he's realized that winning isn't just about the outcome. It's about who you become along the way. The crowd continues to cheer, but Ethan's attention is now focused on something deeper. He's not just walking away with a victory. He's walking away with newfound strength, confidence, and a belief in himself that will carry him through whatever challenge comes next. The victory isn't the end. It's just the beginning of something much bigger. Minute 8. As Ethan steps off the stage, he feels a tap on his shoulder. It's his best friend, Alex, grinning from ear to ear. The excitement is still evident in Alex's face, but it's the warmth in his smile that hits Ethan the hardest. You did it, man, Alex says, his voice full of admiration. Ethan can't help but laugh. I did it, he responds, the weight of it finally sinking in. For a brief moment, it feels like everything has slowed down. He takes in the scene, the flashing cameras, the excited chatter of the crowd, and the realization that this moment, this win, is something he's worked for his entire life. But more than anything, Ethan feels grounded. Despite the noise and the chaos of the competition, there's a quietness within him that says, "You've earned this. You're capable." Alex claps him on the back, breaking the silence. I knew you could do it. When you told me you were going to quit after that first round, I almost lost my mind. Ethan chuckles, shaking his head. I almost quit too, you know. I was ready to give up. But something changed. He looks at Alex, a soft smile forming. I didn't want to let myself down. And I didn't want to let anyone who believed in me down either. The conversation with Alex makes Ethan think of the people who helped him get here. The countless hours spent training, the late nights, the moments of doubt where his family, friends, and even strangers offered him support. That's when he realizes this victory is not just his own, it's a collective effort. Ethan watches the celebration around him, the cheering, the pictures, the attention. These things feel nice, but what really matters is that he's made it this far. He's proven to himself that he can bounce back, that setbacks are just part of the process. He's won, but the real victory is in the transformation that happened behind the scenes. The real victory is that he learned to believe in himself again. And just as he begins to reflect on how far he's come, his coach approaches him, a proud smile on his face. "You've made us all proud, Ethan. This isn't just about winning. It's about how you overcame everything that tried to stop you." Ethan nods, feeling the weight of those words. "I get it now. It wasn't about being perfect. It was about showing up, no matter what." Coach pats him on the back. "Exactly, and you've shown the world that when you don't give up on yourself, anything is possible." The evening draws to a close, and the once vibrant, high-energy atmosphere begins to wind down. The crowd disperses, but Ethan stands there, taking it all in. He's still holding the trophy, the weight of it not quite registering as he looks at it in his hands. It feels surreal. All the months of training, the early mornings, and the sleepless nights now culminate in this single moment. But as he stares at the shiny surface of the trophy, his thoughts aren't on the win. They're on everything that led up to it. His mind drifts to the failures, the moments when he felt like throwing in the towel. He remembers the doubts, the feelings of being out of his depth, and how many times he questioned whether he was good enough. And then he remembers the people who believed in him when he couldn't believe in himself, his family, his coach, Alex. Those are the faces he holds on to now, not just as sources of encouragement, but as reminders that even when the world feels uncertain, you don't have to go it alone. For the first time in a long while, Ethan feels a sense of peace. He understands that success isn't about having all the answers or avoiding failure. It's about resilience. It's about showing up every day, even when things are tough, and learning from every experience along the way. As the arena empties, Ethan walks away from the stage, but there's no rush to leave. The victory feels like a milestone on a much longer journey. There's still so much ahead of him, so many challenges to face, so much more to learn, and so many more opportunities to grow. Ethan takes a deep breath and looks up at the night sky. The stars are bright above him, but he's not just looking at them. He's thinking about the path he's walked to get here. And in that moment, he realizes that no matter what the future holds, he's ready for it. It's not about winning trophies or gaining recognition. It's about becoming the person you know you can be, even when it feels like the world is telling you otherwise. And right now, Ethan feels ready for whatever comes next. With a final glance back at the stage, he begins to walk away, a sense of fulfillment in every step. The journey may have been hard, but it was worth every moment. Because the real victory isn't in the destination. It's in the transformation along the way. As Ethan steps outside into the cool night air, the weight of the trophy begins to feel less heavy in his hands. It's almost as if the true significance of the win isn't the physical prize, but the transformation it represents. His body aches from the intensity of the competition, but it's a good kind of pain, the kind that comes with growth. He holds the trophy up for one last look, the lights from the arena reflecting off of it, casting a glow that feels symbolic of everything he's overcome. Ethan pauses, looking out at the quiet street. It's a stark contrast to the noise and excitement he just left behind. And yet, as he stands there in the stillness, he realizes that this moment is the one he'll carry with him forever. Not the applause, not the cheers, but the quiet victory of proving to himself that he was capable, even when he didn't believe it. As he walks toward the car, Ethan's phone buzzes. It's a message from Alex. "Told you I had no doubt. Let's get some pizza, champ." A grin spreads across Ethan's face. The journey isn't over. In fact, it's just beginning. He still has dreams to chase, challenges to face, and more growth ahead. But for now, Ethan knows that the most important thing is not that he won this one moment, but that he kept going even when it seemed impossible. The night is quiet, but Ethan's heart is full of anticipation. The future may be uncertain, but he's ready for it. And with every step forward, he knows the best is yet to come. And with that, he heads into the night, knowing that his transformation is just the start of something even greater.